So the October skies are upon us. It's that time of year. We're going to head out for a mule deer hunt in Montana where the skies are big, the shots are long, lots of wind. You need to make sure you don't hit a black Angus. Always looking forward to it. And the question is to use that M1 Grand or not. What you're looking at before you are a couple of firearms that I acquired over this last year, and between the two of them, I've got quite a bit of video. Most recently, lots of stuff talked about with this M1 Grand, and you're looking at what I consider to be a nice walnut wood grain finish. We had to do a number of things to try to make this look its best, include some work on this front handguard, which when we originally got it looked like it belonged to a completely different firearm. And then here's a firearm that just has an absolute beautiful stock to it. Haven't had to do anything to that, but we need to do some things to accurize this to get it out to where it could be a consistent sub-MOA shooter, which it has become. Probably always was, just needed the right kind of love. So the real idea I've had is, hey, I'm going mule deer hunting here very soon. I'm going to be out in Montana where you do not take very many close range shots. You're typically a couple hundred yards away. Hey, wouldn't it be really cool to take a deer with the M1 Grand? There's no question that the round's going to do it, and there's no question that the rifle can do it. The question is, without some kind of seated or prone type of firing position, how accurate am I going to be, especially offhand shooting or freehand? How accurate am I going to be shooting at 250 yards with this versus this guy right here? And dang, I just can't quit looking at this. This is just like a beautiful woman. The firearm on the right is going to be just inherently more accurate and better suited to shooting deer in the field. But having said that, I'd still like to take one with this. Same reasons a lot of guys like to take one with a pistol, or like to take one with black powder or a bow or an arrow or something. It's just kind of the challenge of it, and how cool would it be to take a picture of this guy right here next to a nice sized deer that I just took with it. Well, so this is my best 3-shot group at 100 with the Garand, and this was after fooling around, futzing around with it quite a bit. I'm going to compare that to the only 3-shot group I took with the Winchester 70, and this is about a 5/8 inch group when you look at it, and that was just one attempt. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go hunting for the first time with this 1959 Model 70 from Winchester, and couldn't be more happy how this has become very accurate with just doing some, for lack of a better word, common sense things. Would that be common sense gun control? Anyway, common sense things to make this a more accurate rifle. First of all, just a real brief overview. The screws that hold this into the stock were Gorilla tight, and we came back and reattached this stock to spec in terms of torque using a torque wrench. In addition to that, the trigger was lightened to a nice, easy 3-pound pull or thereabouts, and fitted this with a period correct Weaver fixed 6-power scope. And so this particular rifle is ready to hunt to probably extreme long distances, at least as far as the round will take it. Now, do I necessarily need a rifle like this to take a 200, 300 yard shot on a deer? The answer is no, I don't, but I think it's my best bet. Now, I'm like a lot of guys. Here's this M1 that we talked about. I'm like a lot of guys. I would love to be in a situation where I could use this to take a deer from 250, 300 yards. But here's a couple of things to note. Number one, this does not have a nice 3-pound trigger on it. This is more like about a 6.5-pound pull. I'm not going to change that. I want to keep this thing to military spec. it does not have a magnified optic or any kind of optic on it. So we're talking about what are, for military accuracy, very good fixed sights, without a doubt. However, I don't know anybody that can shoot fixed iron sights as accurately as they can shoot magnified optics, assuming that the mount and the optic itself is good, which in the case of this right here certainly is. So with that in mind, we're comparing a hunting rifle, a bolt action gun shooting a 30-06 round, to a semi-automatic military rifle. Now, if this were the only firearm that I had, and I needed to go deer hunting, no problem. I'd go take deer with this. I would probably have my fair share of near misses at distance and things like that, where I probably won't so much with a bolt action. But yeah, I could hunt with this. But here's the thing, guys. The deer isn't going to taste any better over the winter, no matter what I shoot it with. So it's more about saying, hey, I've got this cool military gun, I'd love to take a deer with it. When in reality, the best tool for that job, without a doubt, is going to be a good bolt action gun. And guys, they don't make them much better than these classic Winchester guys like this one. This is just a joy to operate. It's a joy to shoot. I tried some new ammo on a windy day and shot a group that was under 3/4 of an inch, probably arguably a 5/8 inch group. That's not bad with a swirling wind. I just want to make sure that I'm not trying to be the guy that wants to compare accuracy on a semi-automatic military firearm without magnified optics versus something that is absolutely of sniper rifle quality. At least Carlos Hathcock found it to be in Vietnam. So that's not even the comparison. The other thing that I like to say, and those of you guys that know who Paul Harrell is, in my opinion, he has by far the best, the most common sense, if you will, YouTube channel pertaining to firearms. And Paul does a lot of real world comparisons, lots of numbers, lots of stuff I wish I had the time to do, which I don't. But Paul likes to talk about rifle accuracy or handgun accuracy as how he shoots it. And I am 100% in agreement with that. When I talk to you about accuracy with the M1 Garand, I'm not talking about absolute accuracy. I'm talking about accuracy in terms of how I shoot it. Now, I've been shooting bolt guns with nice triggers for a long time, and so I'm pretty proficient with that. However, with the M1, I'm fairly new to this platform, and it has a different kind of trigger. I found out, for example, if you try to shoot this for accuracy off of a bag, or even do something like this for accuracy, shooting off a rest, what you're going to end up doing is bump firing the rifle and double tap it, which is not what you're looking to do. So it's a completely different setup. You can't milk the trigger, things like that. So I've got a lot of work that I need to do with this rifle to become more proficient and a better shooter with it. However, you can see the results when we had our adjustments made today at the same distance as our bolt gun. When we took our time, and this was not off of sandbags, this was just elbows resting on a bench. We were printing a pretty decent group at 100 yards on a windy day. So in most cases, most of the guns I ever shoot, the accuracy is a function of me, the shooter, and how I shoot the firearm. After today, and really giving it some thought, I've decided that I'm not going to fool around. I'm going to use this Winchester 70 unless I'm real close, and probably relegate this to coyote duty. So I don't really care if I wing a coyote as much as if I have to chase a deer forever, because I didn't put the shot where it needs to go. But I don't think there's any question there's guys that can shoot this firearm a lot more accurately than I'm gonna. There's guys that from a standing position could could take a deer out to 300 or more yards any day. I'm not there with that rifle yet. I am there with this one on the bottom. So we're going to have some hunting results coming up here in a few weeks. As always, I want to thank you for watching. This is Dr. Drake 63 saying take care.